The drama surrounding college football's most unforgettable quarterback duel is officially spilling into the NFL, and the ripple effects are only getting stronger. What Caleb Williams just revealed about his history with Colorado's Shadur Sanders has reopened a chapter that many fans thought was already written, but now it carries far more weight, context, and meaning than it ever did back in college. What seemed like a routine NFL press appearance quietly turned into a moment of reflection, honesty, and respect that connected two quarterback journeys now moving on very different timelines, yet still bound by one defining afternoon in Boulder. Caleb Williams is living in the reality that every first overall pick eventually faces. The hype fades, the protection disappears, and Sundays turn into survival tests. Chicago believed it had finally found its savior when it selected him at the top of the draft, but the NFL has a way of humbling even the most decorated college stars. The speed is different. The punishment is real. Defensive linemen don't miss tackles, and mistakes don't get forgiven. Williams has felt every bit of that transition. His rookie season hasn't been cinematic or smooth. It's been messy, physical, and brutally honest. But in the middle of that grind, when the conversation drifted back to college, something revealing happened. When Williams was asked about that legendary 2023 showdown between USC and Colorado, his response cut through all the noise surrounding his own struggles. The respect he showed for Shadur Sanders wasn't forced or strategic. It was instinctive. It came from memory. It came from standing on the same field, under the same lights, with everything at stake. And that moment matters because respect from a competitor only comes when they know exactly what you're capable of. That game in Boulder wasn't just another Saturday on the college football calendar. It was a collision of narratives. USC arrived with the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and the weight of expectations. Colorado arrived with swagger, celebrity attention, and a program reborn almost overnight by Coach Prime. The atmosphere felt larger than the sport itself. Cameras everywhere. Celebrities in the stands. A fan base starving for legitimacy. It was chaos, energy, and pressure all rolled into one. Caleb Williams delivered a performance that justified every ounce of hype surrounding him. He carved up the defense, extended plays that had no business working, and looked every bit like the best player in college football. But what gets lost in the final score is what Shadur Sanders did on the other side of the field. He didn't fold. He didn't disappear. He stood in the pocket, took hits, made throws, and competed through 4 quarters even as his defense struggled to slow down USC's attack. Anyone watching closely could see it. That wasn't a quarterback overwhelmed by the moment. That was a quarterback absorbing it. Williams remembers that. That's why his words now carry weight. He didn't dismiss Sanders as a byproduct of hype or celebrity. He acknowledged him as a legitimate player because he had first-hand evidence. He knew the difficulty of that stage. He knew what it took to function under that pressure. That kind of respect doesn't come from box scores. It comes from shared experience. Fast forward to the present, and the contrast between their paths couldn't be sharper. Williams is already in the NFL trenches, learning the hard way what Sundays look like when protection breaks down and elite pass rushers dictate games. He's facing players who can wreck entire offenses on their own. Every snap feels like a test of survival, processing speed, and resilience. The margin for error is razor thin, and every interception becomes a talking point. Yet through all of that, Williams hasn't run from accountability. He hasn't deflected blame or hidden behind excuses. He's owned the struggle and embraced the responsibility that comes with being the face of a franchise. That mindset matters because it's the same mentality that separates quarterbacks who wash out early from those who eventually figure it out. Growth in the NFL is painful, and Williams is in the middle of it. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders made a decision that reshaped his trajectory. He chose to stay in college. He chose patience over immediacy. Instead of entering the draft alongside Williams, he returned to Colorado, betting that another year of refinement, leadership, and control would better prepare him for what awaits at the next level. Watching Williams absorb the NFL's brutality in real time likely validated that choice. Sanders now gets another season to sharpen his game, dominate college competition, and enter the draft with even more leverage. What makes this dynamic fascinating isn't rivalry. It's timing. Williams has the head start, but also the scars. Sanders has the polish, but not yet the exposure. One is learning lessons publicly every Sunday. The other is preparing quietly for the same battlefield. And both understand exactly what the other is facing. Williams' comments didn't come during college hype season or draft build-up. They came in the middle of his own grind, while preparing for another brutal matchup, with no obligation to say anything at all. That honesty speaks volumes. It shows confidence. It shows security. And it shows the mindset of someone who doesn't need to diminish others to validate himself. Sanders, on his end, isn't intimidated by Williams' resume or draft status. He's already stood across from him on a massive stage and held his own. That experience can't be replicated in practice or film sessions. It becomes part of a quarterback's internal database, something they carry with them when they step into future challenges. That's why when Sanders eventually enters the NFL, he won't be overwhelmed by spotlight or expectations. He's already lived inside it. The long-term chess match between these two quarterbacks is just beginning. Williams is being forged by adversity. Sanders is being refined by preparation. One is learning how unforgiving the league can be. The other is studying that lesson from a safer distance. Eventually, their paths will intersect again, whether through direct matchups or constant comparisons. And when that happens, the narrative won't be about who was better in college. It will be about who adapted, who endured, and who grew. What makes this story compelling is the mutual respect anchoring it. In an era where manufactured drama dominates headlines, genuine acknowledgement between competitors feels rare. Williams didn't have to say what he said, but he did. And in doing so, he reminded everyone that greatness recognizes greatness, even when circumstances differ. As Williams continues navigating his rookie season and Sanders prepares for another dominant year at Colorado, football fans should appreciate the bigger picture unfolding. These are two quarterbacks shaped by pressure, defined by confidence, and connected by one unforgettable game. Their stories aren't competing, they're converging. Now the question turns to you. How do you see this quarterback dynamic playing out long-term? Did Sanders make the right call by staying in college? Can Williams' early struggles become the foundation for long-term success? And when these two finally share an NFL field again, who do you think will own that moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this evolving quarterback story. This isn't over. It's just getting started.